Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Destiny carried you to this exact moment because today is the first time this truth doesn't just sound good, it belongs to you. You've been living like someone still in a fight, shoulders tense, heart guarded, mind running through worst-case scenarios before you can even enjoy the quiet. It's what happens when the world has taught you to always expect the next hit. But heaven wants you to hear this now. The fight that tried to define you has already been settled. The verdict is in. The battle is over. Now it's time to rest. And I know that might sound strange at first, because your body still remembers the tension. Your spirit still carries some of the bruises. Your mind still replays scenes of how hard it was just to make it here. But victory isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the undeniable truth that you outlasted what was designed to erase you. And here you are. That alone is proof. The hardest part is already behind you. Think back for a moment. There were nights you stayed awake, rehearsing every reason to quit. There were days you went through the motions, not sure if you could do it again tomorrow. And yet, tomorrow kept coming, and so did you. That kind of endurance isn't natural, it's supernatural. It wasn't willpower that kept you, it was preservation, divine preservation. Because God wasn't going to let the weight break you when the story wasn't finished. And now heaven has made the announcement, it's done. The war that dragged through years, through cycles, through your bloodline even, has met its conclusion. This is why your spirit has been feeling different lately, even if you can't put words to it. Why the same fears don't stick the way they used to. Why the same temptations don't pull you under the way they once did. Why peace has been creeping in, even if chaos still tries to knock at your door. Because something shifted, something closed. And maybe even you don't see it yet. Maybe you've gotten so used to life being heavy. Maybe until now, you never allowed yourself to rest peacefully in the middle of constant striving. And here's the thing, when heaven announces a victory, it doesn't matter if earth has caught up to it yet. God's decree always outruns human recognition. That means your victory is already recorded, already stamped, already sealed, even before it's fully visible. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. You've crossed the line you thought would finish you. And because of that, you can rest differently now. Not the restless kind of rest where you're bracing for the next storm, but the deep exhale that comes when you realize it's over. It really is over. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges again. Life has its tests, but the particular war that chased you, the one that tried to swallow your identity whole, that battle has no authority anymore. You outlasted it. And that is why this moment matters so much. Because you're not just stepping into another season, you're stepping into a season defined by recognition. Recognition from heaven first. That you stayed the course, you didn't fold, you carried truth when it would have been easier to abandon it. And recognition on earth will have no choice but to follow. Not because you suddenly became worthy of them, you always were, but because the timing finally caught up with your truth. This is the part I don't want you to miss. The way you see yourself has to shift too. You don't need to keep rehearsing the fight that's already over. You don't need to keep wearing armor that's already done its job. And you don't have to move through life like it's always a threat, no matter what the world tried to teach you. You're allowed to lay some things down now. You're allowed to breathe differently now. You're allowed to walk with an ease that doesn't apologize for itself, even if comfort feels foreign after years of survival, because God is not asking you to prove that you survived. He's inviting you to live like someone who already did. And the beauty of that, it changes everything. It changes how you pray, less from desperation, more from confidence. It changes how you love, less from fear of loss, more from fullness. It changes how you carry yourself, less from striving, more from knowing you're already stamped as chosen. You've walked through the proving ground. You've endured the hardest test. And heaven's announcement over your life is clear. You already won. So let this truth sink deep. The restlessness, the second guessing, the anxiety that keeps you waiting for the next battle, those are echoes of an old war. They don't belong to you anymore. What belongs to you now is peace. What belongs to you now is freedom. What belongs to you now is the kind of rest that doesn't mean laziness, but stability. The kind of rest that comes when you know the foundation beneath you will hold, because it will, because it already has. So the next time your mind tries to drag you back into the panic of the past, remind yourself that war ended, the record is sealed, the verdict is victory, and heaven's announcement never lies. Please know rest is not weakness, my dear friend. Rest is what strength looks like once the war is over. You've lived so long with tension in your body, bracing for the next problem, the next disappointment, the next betrayal. And that posture became normal. So normal that even now, with the hardest battles behind you, your mind keeps scanning for threats that aren't there anymore. But God is saying, you don't have to live like that anymore. You're safe to rest now. Rest is not doing nothing. Rest is living without fear that everything will collapse if you pause. Rest is letting go of the weight you've already carried past the finish line. Rest is trust in motion. Think about it. When someone finishes a marathon, no one questions if they deserve to sit down. No one accuses them of being lazy for catching their breath. Why? Because the effort is undeniable. The proof of what they carried is written into every step of their stride. That's you. You've already run the distance others didn't believe you could. You've already outlasted storms that were designed to drain you. You've already proven, simply by being here, that your endurance is unmatched. So rest isn't optional anymore. It's required. It's what makes you ready for what's next. This is the shift you need to allow yourself to make. You are not in constant danger. You are not one mistake away from losing everything. You are not living under a curse of exhaustion anymore. The fight tried to teach you that survival had to be your identity, but heaven is teaching you that rest is now your inheritance. And when you live in that rest, it changes how you move. You start to notice that you don't need to rush into proving yourself. The right things come towards you without you clawing for them. You stop chasing after voices that never understood you. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Because rest silences desperation, and desperation was the last chain trying to keep you bound. So let yourself settle into it. Rest doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you give up responsibility. It means you're no longer ruled by fear. You no longer believe that everything depends on you running harder, trying more, stretching thinner. It means you're finally letting God carry what He wanted to carry all along. And isn't that what He promised? Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That's not poetry, that's covenant. Your rest is part of the reward. The same way a soldier doesn't fight forever, the same way a farmer doesn't plow endlessly without harvest. You are not meant to live in constant battle. You're meant to live in cycles. Yes, there are seasons of effort, but there are also seasons of receiving. This is one of them. So take notice of how God is already inviting you into it. The moments of stillness that feel less like emptiness and more like fullness. The peace that doesn't make sense but refuses to leave your side. And listen, it's okay if it feels unfamiliar. When you've been wired for survival, even joy can feel suspicious. Even quiet can feel threatening. Even love can feel too good to be true. But that's only because your nervous system hasn't caught up to your spirit yet. Heaven already declared it. The battle is over. Now your body and mind are learning to live like it. So be gentle with yourself. Practice resting like you practiced fighting. Practice receiving like you practiced persevering. And soon you'll see that rest doesn't make you soft. It makes you sharp, because you think clearer when you're not exhausted. You love deeper when you're not running on fumes. You build stronger when you're not repairing yourself every other step. That's why God is insisting on this shift. He's not just giving you a break. He's giving you sustainability. He's showing you that His blessing isn't supposed to come at the price of burnout. His love isn't supposed to feel like another war. This rest is holy. It's restoration. It's God's way of saying, you've done the impossible. Now breathe. I'll take it from here. So let this truth cover you like a blanket today. You are not falling behind by resting. You are not losing momentum by catching your breath. You are not wasting time by being still. You are aligning with the very rhythm of heaven, because heaven never asked you to carry it all forever. Heaven asked you to trust, and trust, at its deepest level, looks like rest. So close your eyes tonight without guilt. Exhale without fear. Smile without waiting for something to go wrong. Because this time, it won't. The verdict is victory. The invitation is rest. And both belong to you now. When a word like this lands, your spirit wants to stay in the presence of it. That's why I made Simplified Serenity, a channel with music I've created for prayer, meditation, and deep rest. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there.